Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we are diving into a fresh wave of political tension shaking the core of South Africa's democratic leadership. In what's being described as yet another chapter in the ongoing war between former President Jacob Zuma and current President Cyril Ramaphosa, a new twist has emerged, and it's stirring up serious questions about judicial integrity, political power, and legacy. According to the Jacob Zuma Foundation, the former president has written a confidential letter to President Ramaphosa, challenging his decision to appoint Justice Raymond Zondo as the Chief Justice of South Africa's Constitutional Court. While the actual contents of this letter remain undisclosed, the foundation has made it clear that Zuma is not staying silent, and that he believes Zondo's elevation is not only unjustified, but deeply inappropriate given their shared history. Now, before we go deeper, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here, and drop your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think this is about principle, or just Zuma refusing to let go of the spotlight? Let's start with the context. Zuma and Zondo's clash is not new. In fact, it's one of the most controversial and personal feuds in modern South African political history. Justice Zondo, as many of you know, was the chairperson of the Commission of Inquiry into State Capture, a years-long process that exposed widespread corruption during Zuma's tenure as president. The commission didn't hold back. Its findings painted Zuma as a key enabler of state capture, with close links to the Gupta family, and accused him of undermining democratic institutions for personal and political gain. Zuma, on the other hand, has consistently rejected Zondo's authority. He's accused the judge of bias, of having a personal vendetta against him, and even defied a constitutional court order to appear before the commission. That defiance, by the way, landed him in prison for contempt in 2021, an unprecedented moment in South African legal history. So, fast forward to 2022, when President Ramaphosa appointed Justice Zondo as Chief Justice. For many, this was a symbolic move, a way to reinforce the rule of law and show that the judiciary stands firm against corruption. But for Zuma, it was deeply personal. And now, with this letter, he's making it clear that he has not accepted the appointment quietly. The letter reportedly questions Ramaphosa's wisdom in making the appointment, suggesting that Zondo is unfit for the position due to his prior involvement in matters relating to Zuma himself. While it's not yet clear if this issue will be escalated to a court challenge, the very fact that Zuma is taking this step indicates that he's far from done fighting, not just in the political arena, but also in the court of public opinion. Some critics have brushed this off as nothing more than a publicity stunt. On social media, people have mocked Zuma, saying he's desperate to stay relevant in a political environment that's largely moved on from his presidency. Others have gone further, calling it sickening that he continues to drag the country's legal and political institutions into his personal battles. But it would be a mistake to underestimate Jacob Zuma. Despite everything, the charges, the jail time, the state capture findings, he still commands a significant support base, especially in KwaZulu-Natal and parts of rural South Africa. His newly formed MK party has already shown signs of life, attracting disaffected ANC members and tapping into anti-establishment sentiments. This latest move, then, should be seen not in isolation but as part of a broader strategy. Zuma is not just attacking Ramaphosa's decision, he's positioning himself, once again, as the champion of those who feel betrayed by the current government, by the ANC leadership, and by the so-called elite judiciary. Let's also not ignore the irony here. While Zuma questions the credibility of Justice Zondo, he himself faces multiple corruption charges and is currently engaged in a private prosecution against President Ramaphosa, alleging that Ramaphosa failed to act when a prosecutor leaked confidential information. This tactic, of using the courts to wage political battles, is becoming a familiar one in Zuma's playbook. So what does all of this mean for South Africa? First, it signals that the country's political landscape is far from settled. As we head toward the 2026 local elections, and possibly another tense national election in 2029, the Zuma-Ramaphosa divide will continue to shape the ANC's internal struggles, and by extension, national governance. Second, it places the judiciary under renewed pressure. If Zuma does push this challenge further, the courts may once again find themselves at the center of a political storm. And for a judiciary that's already grappling with legitimacy questions, this could be yet another test of its resilience. Third, and perhaps most importantly, it shows us just how far personal animosity can go in shaping national affairs. This isn't just about legal appointments or political procedure. It's about two leaders who represent very different visions of the ANC and of South Africa. Ramaphosa, for all his flaws, still markets himself as a reformer. He wants to clean up the ANC, attract investment, and present South Africa as a functioning democracy on the global stage. Zuma, meanwhile, is the populist, the man who says the system is broken, that the courts are captured, and that the people's will must triumph over elitist institutions. That's why this letter matters. Because even if it never sees the inside of a courtroom, it reignites old battles that still haven't been resolved. It brings us back to core questions: who gets to decide what justice looks like? Who holds power in post-apartheid South Africa? And can a democracy survive when its leaders are constantly at war? Let us know what you think in the comments. Is Zuma right to challenge the appointment of Zondo? Is Ramaphosa playing politics with the judiciary? Or is this just another episode in a never-ending political soap opera? Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more South African political commentary, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. See you next time.